I have way more to say than I thought I would after this third preseason game. Let's talk about it on the BJack 70 show. Welcome back to the BJack 70 show. I'm your host, Brandon Jackson, and let's get right into all of my takeaways from the third preseason game that the Browns played. No starters played. Not a lot of very influential and important people played in this game, but considering that, I have a lot to take away from after this game. Takeaway number one: in the stands, for whatever reason, maybe because it's a preseason game on Thursday, last preseason game, people knew the starters weren't going to play. Certain guy was named quarterback one. Who knows the reason, but not a lot of fans in attendance for this preseason game against the Patriots for the Browns. I swear it looked like there were less people in that stadium tonight than there were when Ignatius and Avon played last week one of high school football. I feel like I can definitively say there were more people in the building when I played in 2010 in Brown Stadium, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm noticing. I noticed. Second thing, Austin Barber. Austin Barber looked great, looked fantastic. Even, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but Austin Barber starting right guard, Austin Barber, baby Wyatt Teller, like what let me show you this clip real quick. Right guard, missed that guy, but that's the effort you want to see. Let it play one more time. Right guard, get up through, couldn't get there, running back make a miss. That is exactly what you want to see. Exactly what you want to see from your guard getting out in the screen game. And it wasn't just that play. There were a couple running plays. He did what he was supposed to do on the D line, got up to the linebacker in the second level, was under control, knew the assignment, knew what he had to do. I didn't think I would be here, but I'm all in on Austin Barber at guard. My goodness, I'm shockingly surprised how good he's looked these last 2 weeks at right guard. I'm all the way in. All the way in. Tevin Jenkins, we know, what his durability has been, and I'm hoping, he can stay healthy, but at some point, and I tweeted this out tonight, at some point, Austin Barber is going to make some starts at right guard. And for everybody's sake, I hope it's merit-based, and I hope Tevin Jenkins doesn't get hurt and injured, and that's the reason that Austin Barber is in there. But from what I've seen, just in the limited sample size these last couple weeks, I think at some point it's going to be too hard to keep Austin Barber off of the field at right guard. There's got to be some room made for him if he's going to look like he looked like today and last week at right guard. So I'm absolutely 100% okay with that. Happy to see that. Next thing, Dillon Gabriel. I don't have the stats pulled up, but Dillon Gabriel looked amazing, fantastic, wonderful. Exactly what it should look like when you got a quarterback in there with second team, third string, fourth string guys. That is what you want it to look like. That is what it should look like when a veteran quarterback is out there playing against, backups. That's what you want it to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's what Case Keenum was doing against us week 1 of the preseason. That's what Kyle Allen was getting into week 2 of the preseason against us. That's what Tommy DeVito was kind of doing today. But Dillon, is a second-year player, second-year guy, not a veteran. QB1 didn't look like that against second team, third string, fourth string guys. And we'll trust and believe we'll get to him later. Anyway, Dillon Gabriel ran the offense to perfection. To perfection. I got nothing bad to say about Dillon Gabriel. He was making, like, he had a couple attempts downfield, was making plays, like fitting it into windows, making the right decisions, looking athletic, running the read option. Everything that you would want from a player like Dillon Gabriel, you saw on tape here tonight. Like a plus performance from Dillon Gabriel. Like, he is exactly what you would want in a backup quarterback, 100%. And I don't say that to be disrespectful at all. Like, this is this is the best he's looked in the NFL. Like, last year during the preseason, I think when they played the Eagles, he looked good during the preseason. This was even better. This is the best that he's looked in the Cleveland Browns uniform. And shout out to him. Congrats to him. He, really did a number out there, really, left an imprint in a lot of people's minds, especially before cutdown day on Sunday. That's very, 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 very important for him. Now, speaking about cutdown day, did what he did tonight, was that enough for a couple of things? Was it enough to get, a real draft pick back in a trade for Dillon Gabriel, if that's what they decide to do, if they decide to go with 3 quarterbacks? Or was it enough to keep Dillon on the roster and you take 4 quarterbacks into the season? Realistically, I can't see a world where the Browns have 4 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. That just doesn't really make sense. But Dillon tonight with that performance made it an option. Like, Dillon with that performance has to make you at least think about it and consider the possibility you keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster. And I say keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster because we know Deshaun is going to be one of the quarterbacks. We think, we need to know for certain whether Shedeur has long-term upside or not. Dillon played excellent as, what you would want a backup quarterback to be in this league. And Taylor Green, we'll get to Taylor Green later, but Taylor Green showed probably that if you try to put him on the practice squad, he's not going to make it through waivers. Another team will most likely claim him to take him onto their roster. He's just that talented, and I don't think he's done anything yet to dissuade anybody from being high on him. So, did Dillon play well enough to make it, make it a real decision for the Browns front office? Because he's Dillon for sure now, and I don't think even before today, I don't think he would have made it to the practice squad if they tried to do that. I don't think Taylor is going to make it to the practice squad if they try to do that. The answer might be in front of my face, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to go there. So I'm going to stick with Dillon and Taylor. What do they do? Because I think we shouldn't be surprised on Sunday. And I'm going to come back Sunday after, cut down day happens and we know what the 53-man roster is going to be, at least on that day. We'll talk about it then. Maybe I should wait for waivers to go through, but anyway, that's in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if on Sunday evening there's 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and they try to figure out a trade of some sort for one of these quarterbacks. Because truthfully, I do think 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks on the roster do have some kind of trade value at varying levels for different varying reasons. Shador for some long-term upside, possibly we would have to see. Dillon as somebody that can come in, learn your offense, run your offense as a backup quarterback if you need him to come in. I think he has proved throughout the offseason that he has done a lot to develop, even with limited reps. Again, I got killed about a month ago for speaking well about Dillon Gabriel. I didn't forget. I know who you are, but he showed what I was talking about in that video today. He is one of the top 2 quarterbacks on the roster. He is one of the top 2. Shador and Dillon Gabriel are the best 2 quarterbacks on the roster, and Taylor Green didn't really show me anything for me to want to take Deshaun Watson over him. At least Taylor Green would be fun to watch. It would be a mystery we wouldn't know. We know Taylor Green is a super duper athlete, so that's that. But again, I think some 3 of these quarterbacks do have some trade value. So don't be surprised if they end up on Sunday with 4 quarterbacks on the roster. I truly don't think we will have 4 quarterbacks on the roster heading into week 1. I just don't think that's a realistic possibility. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting weekend, interesting next few days. Benjamin Albright already today said people have reached out to a couple backup quarterbacks around the league, Dillon Gabriel being one, or teams for these backup quarterbacks. So Dillon Gabriel was one, Anthony Richardson was one, JJ McCarthy was one. I forget who the last one was, but people are asking around about, some of these quarterbacks, and, people might be inquiring about Dillon, especially after what he looked like tonight. Next, Luke Floria, shout out Luke Floria. I don't know if he's going to make the Browns, but he's going to make some team. Some team is going to roster him by the time, we get to next week. Don't know if it's the Browns. I believe we know the big 4 didn't suit up. Tylan Wallace didn't suit up, and I don't believe Malachi Corley suited up. So that's 6 right there. Do they want to keep 7 wide receivers? I don't know. I think, what are they going to do with Luke Floria? Because he has made it a real talking point for him to be on this team. And it was not just tonight, it's been all camp. Luke Floria, it was last camp too. So Luke Floria really has been doing the damn thing out there. I don't know what they're going to do. I really, truly don't. Because who's keeping, is anybody keeping 7 wide receivers? I think, I said earlier today, it would probably come down to Floria and Corley, because I think Tylan Wallace is making this team. That's going to be an interesting one. They might try to sneak him through to the practice squad again. I really don't know. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers in the NFL, but he's looked pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if some teams have eyes on him on Sunday, again, we'll see. Most of this is a lot of we'll see. It'll all work itself out. But I'm interested. I'm interested with what Luke Floria did today and what he's been doing all camp. Next, Amani Marshall, Rocket Sanders, and Booth at running back. All three of y'all good with me. Y'all boys are good with me. Whichever one, whichever one of you guys, whichever two of you guys makes the roster, y'all good with me, man. Like I'm good. Whoever they decide to keep out of that running back room behind Quinshawn and behind Dillon Sampson, I'm A-okay with. I like all three of you guys for different reasons. That Booth spin move and touchdown was unbelievable. Walking with it in the ends like that. I loved it. Love to see it. Marshall, Rocket Sanders. I'm really a fan of all three of those guys. So however they decide to shake it out, I'm good with. I would love to have them all. Obviously can't have them all, but man, those guys are doing their thing for real. All right. It's time to talk about it. Kirk and Al. Kirk Herbstreit, Al Michaels on the broadcast. Incredibly, glowingly positive about Deshaun Watson on the broadcast. For what reason? I'm not sure. Kirk Herbstreit's talking about I'm a fan of giving people second chances. They're, saying like this is a redemption. He can do this, he can bounce back, blah, blah, blah. He's getting interviewed on the sideline like he's a returning hero, like he's Odysseus coming back to the crib. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is going on. I don't know who the Deshaun Watson they think is in Cleveland. I don't know if they think it's just bad circumstance, that it's just the Browns is the Browns. He's been a bad quarterback. Like, I don't know what the rationale is, what they're thinking, who this guy is, because they're treating it like he is coming off injury, but they're treating it like he's finally back. He's good to go. He's been a model citizen. He's been the franchise quarterback this whole time. It's been nothing but greatness since he's been here. And he's just coming back off of torn Achilles. No other reason, no other controversy, no other bad things have happened for Deshaun Watson. That's what it seems like, what it sounds like when you listen to these two on the broadcast. I saw a tweet. Somebody said, if you had never watched football before and you saw how they treated Deshaun Watson tonight on the broadcast, you would think he was Walter Payton Man of the Year. And I could not say it better myself to whoever tweeted that out. Absolutely spot on. But you know who didn't fellatiate Deshaun Watson on the broadcast? Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let's watch this. Let's watch this real quick.
But I also think this is set up here for Shedeur. I mean, if Deshaun, once he fails, Shedor's going to jump into this thing, and he's going to be the guy, and this city is going to be behind him.
Yeah. So you think he'll fail?
Yeah, and it's going to happen. I mean, Shedor's playing this year. I think all three of these guys. I think Gabriel's going to have a chance to play as well. But
from Ryan Fitzpatrick, when Deshaun fails, not if, not maybe, but when he fails. And then it was not a slip of the tongue. Was not a slip of the tongue. Kirk Herbstreit asked him, so you think he'll fail? Ryan Fitzpatrick said, yeah. Yeah, I think he will. For sure. Yeah, I think he will. Oh man, doubling down on it is crazy. It's right. It's right, but that's actually crazy. Yeah, somebody kept it real in that booth. It wasn't gonna be Kirk Herbstreit now Michaels, but shout out to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Last thing before we get out of here. Taylor Green. Taylor Green was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. If it wasn't there, run. Just run at this stage. Haven't gotten any reps all summer. Run. And he can run, and he ran the ball well. And this is why it's a dumb idea to start Deshaun Watson, because on one hand, we need to know for sure what we have with Shedeur Sanders, and then we also probably need to see Taylor Green out there in real games just in case it pops off, because the athlete that he is, everybody has said the same thing, but I'm going to say it again. The athlete that he is, if he can really get out there and throw the football with any accuracy, it's going to be a problem for everybody else, because that young gentleman is ungodly gifted when it comes to running the football and having the football in his hands and making plays. That big and that fast is just a combination that does not come along very often, and I'm glad he's a Cleveland Brown. Didn't do anything too crazy tonight, but you can see the flashes of athleticism there. You just want to make sure he's getting time to learn the offense and learn how to pass football in the NFL. During the season, he should get every single scout team rep that they have throwing the football, running the football, he should be taking. He needs to be able to take every single opportunity that he can possibly get, because people with that kind of talent just don't grow on trees and come around all the time in the NFL. It's really, really special to see somebody like him on the football field in the Cleveland Browns uniform. So I'm happy he's here. Was that? I think that was it. I believe that was it. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys felt about preseason week 3. Thank you to all the new subscribers, all new followers, everything, all the views and everything. I really appreciate it. Let's continue to keep that momentum going. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and yeah, I'll see you guys sometime soon after cut day, maybe Sunday evening, maybe Monday morning, afternoon. We'll see. We'll see what what the weekend brings. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.